A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus said, "Do not judge, so that you may not be judged. For with the judgment you make, you will be judged, and the measure you give will be the measure you get. Why do you see the speck in your neighbor's eye, but do not notice the log in your own eye? Or how can you say to your neighbor, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' while the log is in your own eye? You hypocrite! First, take the log out of your own eye, and then you'll see clearly to take the speck out of your neighbor's eye." We've come to the part in Matthew's Gospel where Jesus is speaking in these little pearls of wisdom, small micro teachings, sayings, and sort of thought for the day, if you will. And here he's inviting us to make sure before we go digging around in somebody else's life, searching for tiny infractions, that we might want to notice the big things that are standing in our own way to fullness of life, standing as obstacles in our way, in that way. And I want to say that I find this kind of a funny passage when he says, "Why don't you see the log in your own eye?" It makes me think actually a log in your own eye is probably a pretty hard thing to see, because the very fact that there's a log in your eye means you can't see. And so while Jesus is saying don't go around searching for specks in other people's eyes, I'm really grateful for the times in my life when I've had people who have said to me, "There's a log in your eye. There's something so big and so obvious and so obstructive in your view and in your vision that you're not seeing the forest for the trees," as it were. And so I think while Jesus is, of course, talking about proportion and us not going around and prosecuting and persecuting our neighbors about tiny infractions when we have our own significant work to do, this teaching of his always makes me grateful for the fact that I know in my own life when there's some huge impediment to my vision, sometimes it's too big for me to see. It's too big for me to even see that my view is obstructed. And I'm always grateful for the folks in my life who will help me to have better vision, to see more clearly, who will help me with the log in my eye. And then, of course, Jesus says, after you take care of that, go help your friends and neighbors with the specks in their eye. And I don't even really need that part. I'm just grateful for the folks in my life who are willing to, with whom I have a relationship of trust, with whom I know I rest in a loving, trusting relationship. I'm grateful always when someone says, "I don't know if you know this, but you're completely blind in this situation. You're not seeing the obvious because something really big is keeping you from seeing and hearing and knowing what God might have in store for you." So as you ponder and puzzle with Jesus teaching this wonderful, pithy micro teaching about proportion and about blindness, may God help you in every way, whether it's a speck or a log. May God's Spirit guide you in finding that clarity of vision. May you have a spirit of charity towards others, whatever the size of their blindness. And may you be blessed with people in your life who help you when you're a little bit log blind, shall we say, when you can't see something that's right in front of you. May you be blessed with people whom you trust, whom you love, and who will speak and help you to find clarity of vision and true life. May God be with you, and God bless you and keep you this day and always. Amen.